Hi Libra, welcome to your May 2024 Astro Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign, Libra is for you. Remember, they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So quick question, right? Are you loving the Astro Tarot? I do, as I said, I've got some ideas of things that I'm going to bring you. Things will be shifting and changing. You know, Rafi likes to keep you on your toes. And I also want to mention as well, for those of you that would like to know, I'm using whole sign tropical Western astrology for the calculations. And also, remember to watch for your ascendant sign. It's going to be the most accurate for you on that day-to-day level. So, for the first transit I want to look at, ooh, girl, right, Mars will be coming into, literally like on the first day of May, we come into May and Mars comes straight into your 7th house. I actually like this because Aries energy has been laggy because we had the Mercury retrograde. So I actually like that Mars is coming in to give a good boost of energy to that space. Now, it doesn't remember, Mars doesn't have to mean that there's going to be a bust up or a breakup. It could just mean that there's a lot more energy with partnerships and commitments at this time, right? So Mars comes into your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, significant others. It also represents your one-to-one connections, the astrology, the relationship you have with your astrologer, the relationship you have with your doctor, the relationship that you have with your best friend. All of this is 7th house stuff, right? So it's not always just your significant other. Mars doesn't, although it is energy, action, passion, excitation, irritation, war, challenge, conflict, even though it's all of those, it doesn't have to be all of them. It could literally just be a lot more energy coming into the relationships in your life, right? It does give you a chance to release or remove a contract or a commitment that isn't working for you in some way. So when Mars comes into the house of literal contracts, commitments, you know, where we sign on the dotted line, which is something you know all about, it actually gives us the chance to free ourselves from that, right? So what this provides you with is an easy out where maybe before you didn't have one, right? So let's say you're locked into a problem, a challenge or an issue with a landlord. This could be a chance for you to break away from that now. Remember, Mars also rules your finances as well, because Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So it rules your money, your finances, your financial commitments as well. So financial and partnerships and commitments at this time could also bring sort of more to the fore. It also could potentially see you getting a lot more proactive about seeking the right kind of partnership that can be financially life affirming for you in some way. All right, so to clarify on this, you've got the Queen of Swords, so you show up in your own energy around this. So maybe you're getting a bit more proactive, or maybe you're getting a bit more forceful about showing up in your relationship in a way that feels more aligned to you, in a way that actually feels more balanced, right? Maybe you're looking for more fairness and equality in your relationships for yourself. You've got this with the Four of Pentacles, so there's very likely to have a financial slant to this in some way, shape or form. I would not be surprised if it did, especially where you're dealing with banks, building societies, financial institutions in some regard. And then you've got the Ace of Cups. So this whole thing that I mentioned about this being a financially life-affirming commitment or partnership, they are definitely available to you at this time, right? We're in Taurus season, which is great, right? It's good for all the money things, but with that Ace of Cups, there's something here about you having your heart in what it is, right? So this might actually see you getting really prepared and ready for something and then saying, okay, you know what, maybe my heart isn't in this, or if it is in it, I need to make sure that it's being reciprocated in some way. And when it comes to love, relationships and partnerships, if you're single, this does, there's possible that you could connect to somebody with or through such matters. Maybe you go to the bank, maybe you go to the building society, maybe you have to have a conversation around finances and it sees you, excuse me, it sees you ending up connecting with somebody through those conversations that you have to have. If you are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, I actually really like this for some frank discussion around finances that actually helps you move forward. This could be as simple as, you know what, I need you to pull your weight, or you know what, let's go into business together and make a fucking mint. All right, I mean, either or, it's going to be whatever it is for you personally, right? So that's on the 1st of the month. I also forgot to mention, if I ever don't tell you the dates or the degrees of a transit, don't worry, don't panic. You'll be able to find all of that stuff in the link in the description box below. On the 16th of May, Mercury is going to leave your 7th house and come into the sign of Taurus, where it joins all of these energies, right? So Taurus has already got a little stellium going on, but by the time Mercury moves in, you're going to have Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Jupiter, and Uranus all in the sign of Taurus, really amping up. And because Taurus for you occupies the 8th house. So what this means is there are big considerations around finances, money, especially joint ventures. So Mars moving into Aries could have seen you getting really proactive about looking at the paperwork, or, you know, maybe getting really serious about, okay, if I'm going to be tied to this thing or this person, I want to make sure that it's right for me as well. And with such an emphasis on the 8th house, which is your partner's money, if you've got a partner, it's the money that you make from your clients if you've got your own business, it's other people's money, resources, and finances. The 8th house is also big money, banking, loans, taxes, inheritance. There could be big conversations around these things at this moment in time, and Mercury coming into this space means there's a lot more communication around these things as well. Remember, Mercury is a microphone, so it's going to amplify whatever's being said about this at the moment. And for you, Mercury rules your 9th house, but it also rules your, where are you, Virgo? Your 12th house, right? So that's a decidedly spiritual sort of axis to rule. Now, it could create more transformative ideas in your life. It could help you verbalize maybe some form of hidden trauma that you've had in your life that now, when you bring it to the surface, and maybe this is a financial trauma. This could be, you know, these are my worries around contracts, around partnerships. This is my worry about being dependent on somebody else financially. And, you know, just by verbalizing that to a partner, it could really help you and your relationship make a lot of headway. If that relationship isn't personal, it might be professional, it might be platonic, right? Or even familial. Now, this is quite a spiritual implication as well, as I said, so there could be some very profound conversations going on at this moment in time that do create some kind of powerful change or transformation, because the 8th house is transformation. Even if that's just giving voice to what your actual fears are, you're acknowledging your traumas, and by doing so, you are gaining a tremendous amount of power. And I have to say, when you can really name the beasties that live at the back of your mind, or in, you know, the bottom of your psyche, not only do they lose power over you, but you gain a lot of personal power by naming and shaming whatever it is that you're holding in those recesses of self. And the 8th house is a recess of self. It's the deep psychological makeup. It's the psychic makeup in some regards as well, right? So this could be a very powerful moment for you. For this, you've got the Lovers card, so around partnerships, right? And again, as I said, these could be personal, professional, platonic, or even familial. You've got the Lovers, you've got this with the Judgment card. So there is a big transformation coming to a relationship, especially one that has a financial slant to it. And this with the 5 of Wands. So what I really like about this is it looks like you're getting very clear about who is for you and who is not. It also looks like you're being really honest with yourself about the kind of changes that need to be made, and you're willing to have those harder conversations, right? It's not that Libra shies away from, because everyone says like, oh, Libra shies away. They don't shy away from conflict. They just prefer not to get into it unless they absolutely have to. Remember, Libra is ruled by Venus. It likes things to be easy. It likes things to be diplomatic. It likes things to be balanced. It likes things to be fair. These are all Venusian traits, right? And that Mercury in the 8th house is going to help you verbalize some of the heavier stuff in ways that actually sees things getting done, in ways that actually actually see things transforming for you in your lifescape. You might be having tough conversations with friends. You might be having tough conversations with partners of all kinds, right? But this is the way forward. That Mercury kind of tips, it looks like you've got a lot of energy in that 8th house already. It's kind of percolating and it's bubbling under the surface, and then Mercury comes in and says, hey, listen, look at that in the corner, right? Like, and then everyone's like, okay, we have to talk about this now, right? So there's no getting away from it. Okay, on the 19th of the month, Mars is going to conjunct the North Node, right? This is a pretty powerful moment. Although this happens once every 2-ish years, right, give or take either side, depending on Mars's orbit and whatnot, Mars is, you know, in essence, Mars is, when it comes into this, because what you're trying to say, Raf, the North Node is a fated energy, right? It speaks to the things that are coming into our lives that are going to change them in some way, right? Because Mars for you rules your 2nd house of money, finances and resources, your 7th house of partnerships, you know, collaborations, etc. This could be a fated relationship that comes in for those of you that are single. It could be a financial partnership of some sort, a financial relationship that comes in for a lot of you if you're already partnered. It could also see your current relationship have a moment that sets it on a new path or on a new trajectory. The North Node tends to act like a very Jupiterian influence. It will amplify whatever is there. This is happening at 14 degrees of the sign. So if you've got any planets, I'd say anywhere from, let's say, you know, let's call it, yeah, I would say anywhere from like 11 to 17 degrees. You're going to feel this, right? It will be that much more sort of viscerally felt for you, especially because it's in the 7th house, which is an angular house. This will show up in a very real world way for you. It might be as well, like, if you're, Libras is very good at sort of deferring to what others need for a lot of the time to balance the equation. But I feel like this time it's kind of you putting your foot down to say, no, this is where I envision my partnerships, my connections, etc. to go. And, you know, you can either be on board or not be on board, whichever the case might be, right? So for this, you've got the 4 of Swords. Take your time with it, right? Don't rush it. And because it is a nodal energy or a fated energy in some regard, don't push for it. Take a moment to really sort of feel into it and ask yourself, okay, what is coming in, right? Because the universe is obviously trying to do something for you or to bring something into your life. Observe it before you kind of push it away or start, you know, kind of going hell for leather at it. You got this with the 5 of Swords. Don't get into arguments, straight up. Don't get into arguments, don't get into hissy fits, don't let other people do that to you either, right? And then you've got this with the 8 of Pentacles. It's very likely that this will show up in the context of your work. Partnerships, connections, collaborations, commitments, contracts, etc., all around your work, your profession, etc. These things are likely to be showing up at this time. So it'll be interesting to see how it kind of hits for you personally. And before we get into the next one, I do want to say my tarot course is now open enrollment. So if you're watching this at the time of release, enrollment will be open until the 30th of April. There's only 20 spaces. I keep the group small so that I can make sure I give you individual attention. And I want to get to know you guys. We have a lot of fun. You know, by the time the 12 weeks is over, everybody's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to not see you guys every week. So it's just been such a pleasure to teach, right? And you're going to get 12 weeks with me. You get 2 to 3 hours of live sessions every single week for the whole 12 weeks, 5 bonus videos, more PDFs than you can shake a stick at. You get live client demo, you get class practice. Trust me, I've given you everything that you need to make this work. All right, so if you are interested, you can get your space on the link in the description box below. So the next transit that I want to talk about is Jupiter, the Lord of abundance, growth, luck, positivity, levity, healing, wisdom even, right? Coaches, gurus, celebrities, darling, comes into your 9th house, right? And Jupiter loves the 9th house because Jupiter is the ruler of the 9th sign, Sagittarius. So it understands this space very well. This is really about your higher mind. It's about expanding your life through expanding your mind. It immediately comes into a connection or a conjunction with Venus, and both of these energies are going to trine Pluto in your 5th house. This is, look, right? So this is whatever you have in Libra, whether this is your sun, moon, or ascendant, you are getting positive energy flow from Pluto. You're getting positive energy flow from Jupiter and from Venus. You'll be getting that Jupiter positive flow for the next 12 months, right? But this is how it starts. And then these two are connected, or these three are connecting harmoniously at the same time as well. The reason I think this is important is because how this transit of Jupiter moving through Gemini begins is very, very positive. So it kind of tells you that the whole transit, yes, it will have its moments when it squares things in Virgo, Pisces, or Sagittarius. That's part of the wonderful life tapestry that we have, right? But for the most part, this I think is going to be a very wonderful transit. Now, that being said, in the Pluto is in your 5th house. Jupiter coming into the 9th space, it knows what it's doing here. This could bring great offers, great blessings, great honours, especially because Jupiter is the greater benefic in the sign, or sorry, not in the sign, in the house that it understands most. And it's coming into conjunction with Venus, which is the lesser benefic. So you've got the two greatest energies in the zodiac for blessings coming together right at the start of this transit. What's not to like, right? In some way, this could see you like really start to intuit or to condense what you feel ready to serve the world with in some way, right? You could come to a realization that you're ready to teach now. Maybe that's your thing, right? Maybe you come into, and because of that conjunction to Venus as well, it's offering blessings and amplifying your reach. Remember, the 9th house is broadcasting, podcasts, it's books, publishing. All of that stuff is found in the 9th house. This is how you meet the world, right? The 9th house is also travel. This can be you interacting with people that, you know, are foreign or from different places or lands in some regard. This could be you connecting with coaches, mentors, gurus that really help you in some way, that really want to make life easier for you. And look, Venus is you. You are Venus coming into that wonderful conjunction with the great benefic of the zodiac. So not only is your voice being amplified, not only are you being supported in some way, but you potentially have the chance to take something out into the world as well. And because Pluto is trine to this from your 5th house, there's a chance that you could start your own business or get some kind of help or support from somebody in order to do that or to pursue it. If you've got children, this could be a wonderful time for your interaction with them. It could even be that you're developing a book or something along those lines for children, and you could go on to make a lot of money from it in due course. Why do I say that? Well, because Pluto in any harmonious connection, Pluto coming into a connection with Jupiter tends to bring good money. All right, so we love it. Wow, look at that. Right, and you've got the Sun card. I mean, look, be here for it. You've got this with the 8 of Swords. Okay. And you've got this with the Fool card. So new things, new places, new people, new energies. The one thing that I want to say to you, the fly in the soup about this, that 8 of Swords suggests that there might be someone around you that almost tries to hold you back from the opportunities that are showing up for you at this time. And with all the stuff that's happening in the 7th house this month, that kind of feels like a very big message. It's up to you, my dear Libra. You have to be really honest with yourself, and maybe you have to put your foot down, right? Because with the Sun card and the Fool card, both of these are travel cards as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of international connection, maybe even some form of travel that comes up through your work. Maybe your business decides to, you decide to take your business global in some way, shape or form. And it's like you've got so much goodness here, so much great energy, and that 8 of Swords suggests that there's someone or something that tries to hold you back from it. Don't accept that. All right, do not accept that. Okay, For your lunations, on the 8th of the month, we will have a new moon in the sign of Taurus. This is at 18 degrees of Taurus, right? So if you've got any planets around 18 degrees or anything like that, have a look. This is what's kind of, you know, getting a fresh start or a fresh go over in some way. And this is an 8th house new moon, right? The interesting thing about this is this card encourages you to hold on to your dreams, your goals and your visions. With the 8th house, this could be some long-term future financial goal that you have that you're being encouraged to, you know, to really hold on to not allow anything or anyone to get in the way of, right? You've got to hold on to it no matter what. And then on the 23rd of the month, you will have, let's move Jupiter over here, the Sun opposing Sagittarius, opposing the Moon, which is a full moon. You will have, on the 23rd of the month, you've got the full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, I love a Sag full moon. Sag full moon is a party time, right? This is a party moon. It's a moon for adventure. It's a moon for pleasure, enjoyment. This is a full moon in the 3rd house. What's lovely about this is the moon exalts in the 3rd house. She does some of her best work in the 3rd, right? So this could be a very good full moon for you that highlights opportunities in your local area. It could help you finally make up your mind about something. You could get really clear, like there could be something on the mind level that you get so clear about that you're like, this is the clarity that I need. This is the direction that I needed to go. And this was the way that I was meant to do it all along, right? I love this for you because it's like whatever shapes up out of this, and it could come through a sibling, it could come through a neighbor, it could come through somebody that you are quite close to in your local area, gives you the right nudge. And the 3rd house is communications. So this will likely come through a conversation of some sort that you have where you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. It's like you get the clarity that you need and it just feels wonderful. And look, for this, you've got the Gate 54 and Ambition. I love this card because this is a money card, right? It's about going after not just your hopes and visions and goals. It's about going after the money, right? So this is going to reveal this to you. And look, this might have something to do with your career as well, because for you, the moon rules Cancer, which is your career zone. All right, lots of really good stuff here. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care, and I'll see you soon.